of course, like I'm a homer. I'm not going to ignore that.
What do they see in this guy? This guy sucks.
Prepare yourself for the Raptors Report podcast with your hosts, Julian and Steve.
Hello, Raptors fans. It is Monday, February the 2nd. I am joined, as always, with Steve, aka Raptor Shack on Twitter. We are going to be breaking down all of the trade buzz surrounding the Toronto Raptors at the trade deadline. We'll give you all of the juiciest rumors that the Toronto Raptors have been involved in. We are going to be talking about Scottie Barnes' All-Star selection. We're going to be talking about Brandon Ingram's snub from the All-Star game, whether that's fair or not. It's not. We're going to be talking about the trade deadline slop. Of course, I have been, charmed by the siren song of, the fake trade rumors. The Evan Sitteries of the world have been entering my feed. All of that good stuff we will be discussing. Also, there's like a trade proposal on ESPN that involved the Toronto Raptors trading for Jaden McDaniels, being involved in a big Giannis swap. We'll get into that, the pros and cons, because this is kind of divided. I might be the underdog here. I might be the one guy in Raptors fandom who doesn't mind this trade. So we'll get into that. Also, we'll talk about Vit Krejci, who was traded earlier this trade deadline season, and whether the Raptors maybe should have got in on that. We'll talk about that. And then we will break down the upcoming schedule, including the Toronto Raptors 5-game home stretch, which they opened with a win. Steve, your take on the last game?
Didn't feel like a win. It was an ugly win, but a win is a win. Yeah, that was some struggle hoops, and that was a continuation of what we had seen a lot earlier in the week with this like disorganized, like not really playing Raptors basketball, at least to what we've come to know it. So a bit concerning for their next matchup if they don't get it together.
Yeah, it was struggle hoops is a great way to put it. The Toronto Raptors offense has been very labored the past 3 games since they rattled off that incredible victory against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That seemed to have like sapped all of their energy. It was like a boss fight where you lose like 75% of your health bar. That's what it felt like after that. They lost to the Knicks. Like, this has not been a very fun stretch of basketball to watch. And it seems like even games like last night, where they lose to the Utah Jazz. They win. Excuse me. Yeah, as you said, felt like a loss.
It. Yeah.
When they win against the Utah Jazz, and just in the back of your mind, running through your mind, it's like, if this is a good team, if this is the Celtics, if this is the New York Knicks, if this is the Pistons, which is coming up soon, their very first matchup against the Pistons, which is absurd. But like if it's one of those teams, the Raptors lose this game.
100%.
They're not winning this game.
100%.
They were so lucky that they were going up against the Utah Jazz because they made so many mistakes in this game, like just unforced turnovers. The offense is just like so ponderous.
Yeah.
It feels
Total
like
slog.
Every possession is just like, I pass it to you.
Yeah.
You pass it to him. He passes it back to me. Like movement with nothing created.
And overpassing on some transition opportunities. There was that, was it Scottie and Sandro? 1, 2, 3, 4 passes on the break, and then you don't get a shot. I quickly tried that like between the legs dump off and ruined a 4-on-1. Like decisions that were sloppy. That they're a good transition team. They're one of the best in the league. Those are like, why are they getting sloppy with it? Is it fatigue? Are they really kind of sputtering into the All-Star break? It's sort of starting to feel like.
I think so too. Like, I don't know if they're distracted. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're tired. That could be another factor. One of the things to note is that playing without a center is difficult.
Yeah.
You have to be on a string. And I think that maybe that is why they're so eager to trade for a center because they feel like all of the I love this theory. I'm just freestyling right now. Okay.
Yeah. Cook.
Playing without a center is very difficult. You have to be running around, sprinting around the court constantly. You are trying to make up, like, your rotations have to be crisp. And when it works, it looks really good because you're taking the fight to your opponent, doing all of this proactive stuff, being very aggressive and on top of it. You have to be concentrating and working your ass off. So maybe that is just so difficult that they don't have the juice on their shots. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Yeah.
it's pretty tough to play both ends of the court really hard.
That's a comment that Darko has made about Scotty, that he tries to monitor his energy levels because Scotty gives it so much on the defensive end. And then something that we've all noticed, right, where Scotty gets up onto the offensive side of the floor and then he's not really touching the ball because he's gassed, right? Yeah. So Darko tries to keep an eye on that and pulls him, but it's like the more people like CMB, Mamu, who are contributing to that paint protection and stuff, who are flying around, as you're saying, right? Yeah, everybody's getting gassed. It's like everybody needs a breather on offense, which is like, that's when you would hope to be able to lean on guys like Quickly and stuff a bit on offense. But there was a moment where they got that 8-second where nobody came back to the ball.
Yes.
Like, they're not helping each other, right?
No, there's definitely fatigue, I think, involved. And one of the things is that, like, centers are basically usually defensive specialists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are guys whose entire role revolves around protecting the basket and grabbing rebounds.
Yeah.
That's the main reason you have those guys. And what do the Raptors need? Defense, rim protection, and rebounding. Both of those things they could really, really use right now. And maybe that would help them recover their three-point shooting. I don't know. But I also feel like they need to make an upgrade in the shooting department. But maybe we'll wait until the next point, because I want to talk about something really exciting. Sorry to cut you off if you had other thoughts.
No. Just
go for it.
Just more of the same. Like, so I made a video about how the Raptors have adjusted to playing without a center, right?
Yeah.
And successfully, their rim defense has gone up without Pirtle, right? But they're still having trouble with allowing offensive rebounds and all that, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that's interesting is that they're forcing more mid-range, allowing less threes, surprisingly, since Pirtle. But you're more mobile, so I guess you're chasing guys off the line easier.
Yeah.
But they're allowing less shots in the paint, right? So they've been able to successfully migrate those shots to the mid-range, and that's been helping with their, like, paint protection. But again, that can be beat by a pass inside to an actual center. Like, a big guy like Nurk was able to, eat, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, like, to build on that point, like, what you're saying is correct, is stopping teams from making passes into the post, like inside. And that's definitely the sign of an active defense, because a lot of the time when you have a center, you don't mind them attempting a well-contested shot around your 7-foot center, right? A lot, like Gobert.
There's a lot of
that used to be the plan. It's the funnel. You just funnel them into Gobert and he stops the possession, right? So, like, it makes sense. Like, you got to cut down on those paint touches if you don't have somebody inside that is, like, going to be protecting it that much.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, for sure. I think it takes a lot out of you. But I kind of wanted to talk about Scotty Barnes's All-Star selection, because I am super jazzed about that. I'm super happy for him. And it's also, really good for those of us who are Scotty truthers. Last season, it was just very dark.
Yeah.
It was like crawling through the muck and mire, and you'd be like, I still believe.
Yeah. And
still believe.
People are hitting you with the, no, he peaked in year 3. No, he peaked as a rookie. And you're like, no, there's more there. And
keeping the torch alive. It was tough in those times.
It was. And what did I say preseason? I said, if he can get like a more efficient 19 a game with good defense, he can be in the All-Star combo. He can be in the All-NBA combo, because that's all Mobley did. Great defense, 18, 19 points a game efficiently, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he's done, and he's been able to comfortably secure an All-Star spot. I didn't see many people, like, I didn't see anybody go, what?
There were
he got
no
him.
sirs or like any kind of shade. Like people were
Yeah.
just like, yep,
Yeah.
that's it. And
Which
like
is,
it's very satisfying to know that you're not like your favorite player, or the player who plays for your favorite team,
yeah.
isn't on the bubble because they're talking about other guys.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
How'd Cat make it on here? And you're like, okay, well,
Not
I guess
us.
he's comfortably in there.
Yeah.
That is like, it's really great. He seems like a great guy. Like I don't see anybody, like there's obviously the negative stuff that people have said about it, but it doesn't really have anything to do with his personality or him as a person. It's just stupid garbage that we don't have to talk about. We don't have to talk about.
And what's impressive to me about it is that he doesn't really seem to let any of that ever affect him. He sees all of it. Like he'll do streams and stuff and he'll be like, oh, why do they say this about me? Whatever. Like, why are they trolling me? And it doesn't like seem to get to him. He's got a pretty strong demeanor about that, which is like what you need as a player. You can't be too sensitive. And a lot of players end up arguing with people on Twitter or blocking people on Twitter and stuff. And I never seen that out of him. So kudos to him for being able to roll with all the trolling and the shit that you get. Being a player like him who is just very much himself.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like that really shows that you're confident.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have to, a person who's confident in themselves does not have to make apologies for themselves.
Yeah.
They just live the way that they do, and then people will make up their own mind. That's confidence. I think that there are people who are like really, concerned about their self-image. And I think that can be construed, and maybe not every time, because I think you want to protect your good name. Right? There's like, if somebody's saying something slanderous about you, you would obviously want to correct the record.
Yeah.
But if someone's like saying you suck and you're like, nuh-uh, or whatever, that feels a little less, confident than just letting your speak for itself.
Did you see Nurkic going off on 6 Rings of Steel there? Beloved YouTuber who everybody seems to like. And
I haven't seen. I don't really know that content creator.
He's basically mostly a Knicks fan, but he does kind of all stuff, right? But he's got like 200,000 subs. Like he's, and he's very much like a positive guy. He's not somebody who gets on there and slanders people. So him saying, "Oh, this is the most surprising triple-double of the year," and Nurkic took so much offense, and he posted his picture. He said, "Oh, you look like whatever," like. Give him some kind of LinkedIn joke or something.
He's a bully.
Yeah.
Bullies go after people that they think are, they can pick on.
Yeah.
How many people have made fun of Nurkic? I'm sure hundreds of people.
He's blocked thousands of people.
But he goes after, this guy.
Yeah.
Listen, you got having thin skin. It's not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you are, as I said, just kind of worried about your self-image.
Yeah.
So somehow we migrated from Scotty Barnes being an all-star to how Nurkic is. Sorry, apologies. We'll get back to the Scotty glazing, I suppose. But he has been so good this season. And I know that it started off with like him, oh my God, he's shooting 45% from 3. And I was like, guys, let's give it a couple of months and see where that 3-point settles. But it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
That does not matter. He is a special player. And when you watch him play, some of the things that he can do on the court, only he can do, really.
Truly, yeah.
And maybe it's not one single thing, one athletic thing, but like you see him block a shot at one end, dribble all the way down the court by himself under pressure, and then dime somebody up with a no-look pass.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can go from that, the first sequence, the block, to the ball handling, to, having the vision and the passing creativity in order to create like a play like that? Like that is quintessentially what he is. Is just this sort of jack of all trades guy. And
exactly.
It's so cool that he's the Raptors franchise player.
Yeah. And it's super cool too, because I feel like it's rare that defensive like improvements and stuff get recognized towards all-star cases. Like obviously Rudy's been an all-star, Draymond's been an all-star, like that happens. And Scotty's much more than like he's not that limited on offense that those guys are. But I do feel like his significant contributions on the D end did play into voters' minds of like, no, this guy is one of the best two-way players in the league.
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't care that he scores 19 a game. He doesn't have to be a 25 point per game guy to have his fingerprints all over every game he plays in.
Yeah, exactly. And he has a little something for everyone. Like he's got some of the like mixtape stuff. Like he can do some stuff with the ball that's pretty impressive. He's got like the assists for the nerds. Like the nerds love the assists.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the stocks. Like the guy is like a really fun player to watch. You know,
Yeah.
like for people who like actually enjoy watching basketball.
Yeah.
For people who like enjoy different facets of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously scoring there's a whole host of skills and ways you can do that and be good at it and be entertaining through your scoring. But there are other elements of basketball that are just as pleasant to watch. Like like you're saying, like a lot of people don't get recognized for their defense. And I agree with that. But a lot of his defense is very spectacular.
He's loud playmaker. Yeah.
Like he is not, he combines like being a good defender with those like really impressive highlight reel defensive plays. Like clutch blocks, that might even be like if you block a buzzer beater at the end of the game, that is just as impressive as a shot. Or if it's second on the list, it's second, like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is almost as exciting as a buzzer beating shot.
Yeah. And it's a championship, winning type of play, right? Like it's like that is a playoff type play to be able to be repeated because like there was who was it? Mobley, I think, blocked Franz in that one playoff series to like end it in game 6 or whatever it was, right? That was a huge clutch play, probably the most important play of Mobley's career. And Scotty's pulled out 8 clutch blocks so far this year.
It's crazy.
He's blocked I think second most threes with 8. Blocking threes is rare, and he does it consistently top 2, top 3. I think Jay Huff's only above him, and Jay Huff is just a block machine.
He's an interesting, we could talk about Huff, but he could be a trade target for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
But in any case, you're absolutely correct about Scotty. And I'm really excited for him to be a second-time All-Star. I think that adds a lot of legitimacy to you as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of players have been an All-Star, and most of them are good players, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, a good player, a solid player, a player you'd love to have on your team, but is not a star player, makes the All-Star team. This kind of adds another, like it's good on the resume. Let me just put it that way. I think that in terms of him being recognized as a great player when his career is finished, you count All-Star berths, and this is pretty big for his career, no doubt about it. So maybe we can shift the topic to the Brandon Ingram snub, because the Brandon Ingram snub, I think that he has some really good reasons to be an All-Star. Narratively, his arrival in Toronto coincided with the Toronto Raptors' success. They sucked last season.
Yeah.
He comes, they're good, right? That makes a lot of sense from a narrative perspective. I am high on Brandon Ingram. I think that he is a really good player, and I'm glad that they picked him up for such a great price. I think you can make the argument, a credible one, that it's a snub, but I personally am not really upset. If Scotty got snubbed, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Because he is clearly deserving of an All-Star.
Yeah.
If Brandon Ingram made the All-Star team, I would say, oh yeah, no doubt about it. But he is like the players that they picked over him all have pretty good cases.
Yep.
It's not like there are some bums on there, or something like that, he is within the realm of the players who got picked. And if there's an injury, he will probably get the shoe in.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, because he did seem quite rattled by not making it. Like, he didn't show it that much, but like I do think it kind of bugged him. But no, like I'd agree. Like, I don't think it's the most egregious snub. Certainly not as egregious as something that happened in the West. You could say there was reason for other players. Like Joel Embiid has been
Yes.
cooking in the
Yes,
time
been
he's played.
amazing.
Now
been
he's
amazing.
played almost 20 games less than Ingram.
Yeah.
That will factor into coaches' decisions and stuff, but he's been insane. Like, he's been getting back to what he was. Like, shout out to his surgeon, incredible stuff.
They're running all the memes on what's it called, Sixers Twitter.
Yeah.
Ball, shout out to that podcast, have been forefront of that movement to honor this doctor. I can't remember his name, but he fixed Joel Embiid's knee.
He's got to be the go-to guy. Yeah, right. Hopefully stays good. But I think like obviously the international player thing might have factored into it, but it's like Pascal was just Eastern Conference, what do they call that trophy?
He's on a bad team, but do we have to explain it to Raptors fans? He's obviously really good.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not his fault that they are not winning games.
Yeah.
Right. So like, are you going to get upset that he is an all-star?
I think there's an ultra tiltness, at least for me as a Raptors fan, watching Pascal be on a 24-20 team, putting up similar numbers with us and not getting the call for an all-star.
True. But what I would say, like,
there's always different years, right? Like, it's always going to be different situations. And we've got a lot of injured players in the East. Like, obviously Hallie and Tatum would be there, and somebody like Siakam on a bad team wouldn't have made it, right? Like, a healthy East would have changed it.
If I would agree, if he had not literally just won Eastern Conference Player of the Year, or Eastern Conference MVP, excuse me, in the past playoffs, right? They were just like right there at the cusp of winning a championship. And I think people realize, like, yes, Pascal Siakam was clearly the second best player on that team and was like excellent. So it's not some, dude, just some guy who's on a losing team that you don't know how good he is. So I get it, but I agree with you. Like, would this have happened in Toronto? I don't know, man.
People point to the Scotty, his replacement all-star, but the Raptors were had 17 wins at that point, so it's a little better. And it was a replacement. He didn't get in on the first one, right? Like, when you think about, like, if Michael Porter Jr. had gotten in instead of Pascal, I'd be more upset because he's not as good as Pascal personally.
No, he isn't. Like, he's had half a season of being a good player,
and the Nets have been terrible. Like the Pacers have beat OKC and had some good games, right? Like, they've been in game. The Nets have been dropping like games by like 40, right? Yeah. So I would be upset if MPJ got the call.
He's been good this season. Like, he has a really good season. So
he definitely has.
But like, he's in that area, like Brandon Ingram. He's in that area code. Yeah. So don't get too, like, if you're not Brandon Ingram, like, I get why he would be upset. And as a Raptors fan, I'd love to have two all-stars.
It's hard to get two when one's not a starter.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you're getting two of like the 7 final spots. But my thought for it was like, if we're not ahead of New York by the time that they start picking, and if we haven't beat New York, then Cat's going to get it over BI. That was my consideration, and that's what happened.
That's, I don't know, a good case. Not like, listen, I love Brandon Ingram, and I was a huge proponent of bringing him here. I thought it was a really good idea. He's been way better than I think a lot of people predicted, and how it looks in the offense. Like, it's clearly worked out. He stayed relatively healthy, knock on wood. Like, he has hit all of the milestones that I've expected him to hit. I'm definitely happy with him, even if he isn't an all-star this season. And here's the thing, this is what, year 1 of them having a, like, we were just talking about how Pascal Siakam went to the Eastern Conference Finals last season, or excuse me, to the finals,
Yep.
and won Eastern Conference MVP. Like, if Brandon Ingram does something similar in the playoffs, you think he's not going to get an all-star bid next season?
Yep.
Of course, he's going to be a shoe-in. People are going to he'll make it.
Yeah,
they'll build up their credibility if they are able to show some consistency and are able to win games. So, like, this is year one.
Yeah,
and I hope it's one of those upward trajectories, and they don't stall out, a la the Hawks or something like that, where they look good and then they don't look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and just to answer Phoenix Plays Z's question here, if Embiid got in as a replacement over BI, would you be upset? I wouldn't, because it's replacing Giannis for the international, and I had already had that thought. Like, I was like, Embiid has done enough statistically. He's like the Sixers are like 17 and
he is a former MVP of the league.
Yeah,
he's looking like he's not injured anymore.
Yeah, right.
Like,
so
that's
I
really
I would get it. Yeah, I would understand it, even with the games played situation. I wouldn't bug me too much, because I'd be like, okay, well, he's on a team that wins, and his team has won a lot more when he's been on the floor. Yeah, I think that I'd be fine if it got honored.
Yeah, I listen, like, as I said, there will be plenty of time if this pans out, which I hope, and I think it will. There is time for him to become an all-star.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't worry about year one of that. So those are my thoughts. Let's get to the fun stuff here. What are we talking? We're crying in our soup about Brandon Ingram not going to the All-Star game when we have some slop. We have some stuff to talk about when it comes to the trade deadline, because there are many, many rumors floating around. Some of them real, some of them bogus. Some of them are just hypotheticals, because you know what? Like, everybody's just getting so excited about these trades, and they have to make up trades. That's what I love. I love making up trades and being like, ooh, but then they would do it because they get, and then this, and you're like one of those puppet masters. You're like Lord Varys in Game of Thrones. You're moving the chess pieces around. So yeah, for aspiring team builders, people who have that basketball nerd inside of them, this is the most exciting time of the year, because you can discuss all of these iterations. Gosh, what do we have on the menu here, Steve? What would you say is the biggest rumor?
It's Sabonis. It's constant. It's dating back past December. That's the name that keeps coming up, and you would think that Keon Ellis getting moved does that quell
change the math.
But according to Jake Fisher, if you put stock in what Jake Fisher says, it hasn't really deterred those kind of conversations going forward, which, if there was a higher price for the Raptors to pay because Keon Ellis was there, I wouldn't be so mad of him being taken out and then the price drops, because
I'm not paying, like, what
they
I
wanted
said,
a first, and
they wanted a first, and I guarantee you, not a single team was willing to give them a first.
Yeah.
This guy is Keon Ellis, like, a fine player.
He's a
role player. He's a role player on an expiring contract.
Yeah.
You're not getting a first round pick for that.
No, and he's cheap now, and he's gonna want a raise on anything you sign him to. So you're looking at it like, I'm gonna pay a first so I can pay this guy like $13 million next year.
Exactly.
Like, right?
It's like saying that, people were so interested in these cookies when they were 5 cents.
Yeah.
So I'm going to charge $1 for them, and then nobody's excited anymore, right?
Yeah.
They were excited because it was 5 cents. That's why people were excited with Keon Ellis. It's like, he's at the end of his contract. We'll be able to get him for nothing.
Exactly.
That's why they're interested. And so when people are like, they traded him and Dennis Schroeder for DeAndre Hunter, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's not a bad deal for them in this very narrow time frame. So what I'm saying is, like, the mistake that they made was not the trade from Dennis Schroeder to DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
That's not the mistake. The mistake happened back here way before, okay? When they
Schroeder.
signed Dennis Schroeder, and when they did not extend
Yeah.
Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
That was the mistake.
Yeah, they overpaid for Schroeder. Everybody thought so.
There was just no reason to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody on Twitter, everyone on social media was like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't they just get Westbrook? Like
Yeah.
they have Zach LaVine, they have DeMar DeRozan. Like, what is this signing? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense. So they had to salary dump him
to get a higher contract, but one less year, right?
One less year, but it like as I said, the problem was not the literal deal for DeAndre Hunter. It was the stuff that happened before.
Yeah.
The reason they got Hunter is that Hunter was good.
Yeah.
Like the past, like the season prior to this one and the season before that, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he's getting like almost 20 points per game.
Right. And he was shooting
with good defense.
Well, and the defense was pretty good. And then he went to Cleveland, his role shrunk, or there was some malcontent stuff going on there, and he sucked ass. And now he wants out, and he was a distressed asset, so they bought low. They got DeAndre Hunter for Dennis Schroeder, who sucks, and a guy on an expiring contract. Yeah. Like, if you just look at the math from that perspective, it makes complete sense. You get a guy who has shown he can be good and plays at a different position than Dennis Schroeder does, and this is all you have to give up. So I guess they gave up 1 second-round pick, and then what's it called? The Cavs gave up a second-round pick so they could just shunt what's his name,
Dario Saric
off. Actually, that makes it maybe even better for them, getting off Dario Saric's contract for 1 second-round pick.
Yeah. And so this is who we're dealing with when it comes to Sabonis, right? So you would think that this would not be a trade that you would lose easily, because Vivek likes to get his hands into stuff and kind of muck it up, right?
Hasten the process. Just do it. Just do it. Hit the button.
So my opinion on Sabonis, and let me know yours and let me know what you think, but is like, if you can get it done on the cheap, obvious, like if you can dump Yak's contract, because I'm in the zone of thinking that he's never going to be back to 100%. If you could dump Yak's contract and like a protected first that isn't your 2026 and get back a usable player.
Yeah. Like that is where I don't know if I'm spending multiple picks.
No, I would only do 1 protected first. And if
Yak's
you can get
contract
off of
is
that,
garbage now. It would be a bit of a stretch if he was fully healthy. Like you could justify it. Like, this is a necessary evil. We don't, there's not a lot of centers around the league, so we have to pay extra or something like that. You could kind of maybe squint and think about it like as not a totally negative asset.
Yeah.
That's if he's healthy. If he's injured and may never play again, this is like a albatross contract.
But so there's a partial guarantee on one of his last years where it's only $5 million if he doesn't like play a certain amount or hit I can't remember what the partial guarantee is, but I'm wondering if there's a way that it can be seen as not as bad of an albatross, because it can be cut off sooner. But I don't know what needs to be done for it to be cut off sooner.
Oh, well, we can just go to his the Spotrac page here. I didn't know that there was an early out, so just bear with us.
It's complicated with like the wording and stuff that was in it, because I know it was like they kind of extended and they kept the next couple years at 19 million and then it ramps up. But I remember there was some form of like unlikely incentive type stuff that
here I'll just
share it to 5
the screen here. Okay. So it says here, okay, so he has this, this is not started. This is the weird part of the salary. So he continues, he picks up his player option for next season. So this is a very bizarre contract, right?
Yeah.
And he opts into that contract. Then they extend it afterwards for 27, 29, and then 27. This is the most cursed contract I've ever laid my eyes on. Okay, in 29, 30, $5 million guaranteed, can increase by $5 million per season for each season the player plays at least 1,400 minutes.
So if he's not playing, that's only 5 million guaranteed. In what year is that? 2029, the last year, right?
5 million guaranteed. Yes. Okay. So that is 29-30. Yeah, that's the final season. So it's not as onerous.
Yeah, and that's only, but like,
yes,
if he's functioning, then he'll earn whatever, right? But if he is not, then you are potentially looking at that being cut off.
Interesting.
At least a year.
So this
shorter.
is like, yeah, it's like the limb is gangrenous. You have to cut it off, but you'll get to keep your butt cheek or something like that. You know what I mean? Like just like the most minor of sunshine in terms of this deal here. Yeah. Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Steve. I didn't know that actually. So
it's because that's my copium for if he doesn't get moved. That is my
silver
little hope for years later.
Yeah, that's good to know there. Okay, so Sabonis, I'll give you my thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on board with the justification here for sending out Pirtle in order to get a usable player back. The problem that I have with Sabonis, I mean, there are issues with Sabonis, but I think he could be an asset for the Raptors, even if he's not like a perfect fit. I get that, but the thing is that he's not a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And I think that the fit is actually not very good. And I think it also kind of clashes with what the Toronto Raptors are going to want to do with Colin Murray-Boyles.
It's true.
Colin Murray-Boyles and Sabonis are similar-ish players. They are undersized fives who are really strong and can score around the hoop, right? But CMB has the ceiling of being just like Sabonis, but plays really good defense, right?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
I wouldn't
sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to put somebody in his way that is going to kind of just cap that growth?
Yeah.
Also, Scotty Barnes. He is giving you a similar, like, he is not the same player as Sabonis. Sabonis is a post player. Like, he does different things, but he does do stuff that Scotty Barnes does. Scotty Barnes is like, when he holds the ball at the top of, like at the elbow or at the top of the arc, and he directs traffic and he passes the ball. Maybe somebody makes a baseline cut. Maybe he's standing in at the free throw line and somebody cuts around him and he can make that pass. That's kind of what Sabonis does.
Yeah.
He is a guy that you give him the ball and he can kind of direct traffic and make sure that everybody is moving around him. One of the things that he does differently is that he's a really, really good screen setter. So one of the reasons I think they do this trade, if it ends up happening, is because they want to pump Quickly stock.
Right.
Okay. Quickly right now viewed as a negative asset because he is making a ton of money and he's not playing that well. He's been, I would say, like an okay player. Okay. If he was making $15 million a season, I think everyone would love him, right? It's the fact that he's making a ton of money, that the production that they're getting from him is not that great. But if you were to add in here a really, really good screen and roll player who can help him in that action, then you're talking about perhaps rehabbing the value of 2 contracts. Okay.
That's a good point.
Sabonis and Quickly. You make both of them look better so that if you eventually have to move on or you want to move on from one of them and not the other, they're worth more than what you paid for them. Like, if you were to trade, let's say everything went to Pod or Scotty got a career-ending injury, like it's absolutely the worst thing to possibly. I don't even want to cut that. But let's say they had to move off of Brandon Ingram for whatever reason. Just ignore I said anything like that's potentially jinxing us. What they paid for him in terms of assets going out versus what they could expect back for him now is an immense difference. He would probably fetch 2 firsts on the open market. He his contract, like if his contract was 1 year longer, maybe then you could think about that. But he would at least,
But you at least get
be in
what
the
you
conversation. Yeah,
you at least get one back. Like you at least get what you paid, so
Yeah.
it's completely no risk.
Plus maybe a good what's it called, younger player or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that they could possibly do that and recoup the value that they would pay for these 2 players.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is one of the thoughts that I have on Sabonis, but his defense is bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Like it's not, you don't want him protecting the paint on your team.
Yeah.
The rebounding would be really good. I'm not going to lie. The post play would be good. I just, I don't think this is the right fit for him.
Yeah.
And another thing that he needs, sorry to keep going on and on about this, he needs shooting around him. He is a post player. He doesn't want 3 or 4 guys lurking in the post waiting to either strip him or block a shot or whatever. He wants to be able to kick it out to an open 3-point shooter and have them make that shot. So, like, do the Raptors have that kind of guy? They've got Quickly, as I said, like probably would help him.
Yeah.
But who is the guy who's shooting the shot? Is it going to be a top tier player? Anyway, those are my thoughts on Sabonis.
And another thing I looked into him about, I was like, well, I see, he can pass. Maybe he can throw some outlet passes. What are his what's he look like in transition? He was like a sub 20 percentile transition player and just like points per possession. And like nobody on the Raptors is below like 55th, 60th percentile. So it's like, okay, he immediately starts to slow them down by that aspect. That kind of hurts what you're trying to do by the run and gun, which is sometimes how the Raptors look best.
That's it. Actually interesting. I'll have to look into kind of what they look like in terms of running the ball without Sabonis, because I want to know, like, is that a Kings thing or is that a Sabonis thing?
It's true.
Like maybe it would be we could look at what the Pacers were like when he was on the floor too.
That'd be quite a difference, because if you're throwing fast break passes to Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder, that's going to be a bit different. I get that. That's a good point. Yeah.
So and I think like having a really good defensive rebounder who can pass, like that can start the break.
Yeah.
The point taken, though, like if he's a bad transition player, that's another reason why it might not be a match made in heaven. So the interesting situation, and it's one to keep an eye on, because a lot of the time, I don't know if where there's smoke, there's fire, but if you pay attention to who's saying it,
yes,
that is pretty important. Shams is saying it.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
He's got a pretty good track record in terms of speaking to people who know things.
Yeah.
Was Mark Stein saying it? I think Mark Stein said it.
Yeah, he said it as well. Exactly. And like I guess you wonder, like, where's it getting fed from? Is it like the Sacramento Kings being like, they're always calling us about Sabonis, and it's like they're trying to bump whatever, right? But I think
sounds like he's got a cigar when he's saying, hey, they're always calling us about Sabonis.
That's how I picture it. But and we'll talk about Anthony Davis in a second here, because Shams also mentioned that there is continued interest there, right? But I guess like something that I can't stop thinking about with Bobby Webster in all of this is, I don't know if you remember the clip of the Raptors getting their 1 draft pick in, and Bobby looking around like, did he get it before us? No. Like basically like, did Shams scoop us? Did anybody find out about the pick? No.
Right. And
he's so happy, right? And I'm like, he likes to be mysterious. He likes to surprise people. And what if all of this is BS, right? Like maybe it's all smokescreen, maybe it's all whatever, or maybe
but at the same
nothing's
time,
leaking out.
One of the things, like with Brandon Ingram, like, do you think that they didn't go and kind of figure out whether he was okay with it beforehand? Like, come on, like they're not throwing picks away. They want to make sure this guy's into it.
Yeah.
That means that they have to talk to somebody to do that. Right? Maybe they talk to his agent. Maybe they talk to one of his homies. Maybe they talk to somebody who's like knows him or something like that. They get inroads. Then that person knows something.
Yeah.
Maybe another person knows something. Maybe another. Sometimes that can happen.
Mhm.
So like it's not necessarily that there's nothing here.
Yeah.
I think that they are probably having discussions about Sabonis. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting trade from a number of different perspectives because there's so many different things. It's not like usually you're trading an older player for a younger player, or like a more like a first round pick for a, you know, an established vet or like something like that. In this case, it's kind of bizarre because you're sending out Jakob Poeltl, who has like super low value if he's always injured, but if he comes back, this deal doesn't look as good. It's also like you have to understand whether it's like a big risk for the Raptors. Like, is this something that you want to, like, there's risk on both sides. What if the contract for Poeltl is just like a brick? You can never move it. Is that bad for the Kings? There's a lot to consider here. It's not just Sabonis, the player. Like people are saying like he's ass, he sucks. It's like he's probably not as, he's a little overrated, but you know, would you rather have an overrated player or a guy who just does not play? Right.
And I think like also the DeAndre Hunter deal made me like wonder, it's like, okay, the Kings are said to be shopping all these guys and starting their tear down, blah, 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 but they consistently don't fully tear down. And it's like maybe keeping DeAndre Hunter because they don't want to waste all of Keegan Murray's like young years. And it's like, okay, are they not really tearing it down? Then they wouldn't want to take a big brick of a contract if they're still going to try to, you know, like a quick turnaround, like the Raptors, right? Like a one or two
retool.
If they're trying to retool, they're not going to take that big of a brick if it's not heavily incentivized with something, right? So there's that thought for me. And then, if you want to get into the Anthony Davis of it all, because
before he got the injury, I was like, maybe this is the season. This is the season. It all goes right. And then he got injured, and I was like, nope, it's over. It is over. I don't want him on the team.
It's a huge risk because but I've had this thought where, again, if Dallas can't get off him in any way, right? And they just want him gone because somebody said in the chat that there is a potential that his agent is pushing him towards somewhere like Toronto, someone who will give him a big contract, right? So if that the agent is pushing and they don't really need him and stuff like that, maybe you can get him on the cheap as well. And then I'm
just thinking no picks. I don't want to give any picks. Like that's why I don't see this getting done.
Yeah, because they would want something, right? But if you could do it for some seconds or a heavily protected first or something, I'd consider it, because if you can go into next season, I'm not thinking about AD coming back this year.
It's like an advanced salary dump. It's like a salary dump with like a little salsa on it, because you're like, what if he's healthy for one season and you go deep into the playoffs or something like that? But it's mostly a salary dump.
But if you're so you're punting having a good center and you're just going to lose in the first round this year. Okay. And then, but next year you go in with a healthy Anthony Davis and a healthy Ingram and a healthy Scotty. And if you get AD for 40 games out of 82, you're going to win more games than we've won this year. We've already won 30 without a good center. So if you get 40 games out of AD, I think you can win overall on the year, you can win 46, 47 games.
I think that his trajectory is getting more and more injured until he can no longer play. He's going to be like the Bionic Man in, half a year.
Yeah.
He cannot, I don't want to make fun of it because it's not his fault.
No, but do you remember?
He just keeps getting hurt, and you cannot have a player like that. If it's just for a salary dump, yes. If you're expecting AD to help the Toronto Raptors, he could, but it's a huge risk.
Did you see him for that first 25 minutes that he was on the Mavs and he was playing like an absolute maniac?
That was so funny. And then he immediately got
injured. Which is probably how he would go here.
Yeah, wait a second. Was Nico cooking?
Yeah.
And then it's he immediately gets injured. It's no.
Yeah.
Not at all. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go to the next piece of slop. We've been talking about this rancid old slop. We gotta get to the new stuff. This isn't even slop. This is a hypothetical that
Hypothetical flop.
Yeah, exactly. That somebody came up with in an ESPN article. Who was it again? I want to bring that up so that I can.
Not Michael Pena, but
you know what? You keep looking at that, and I will carry it from here. We're talking about Jaden McDaniels being traded to the Toronto Raptors to facilitate a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the idea would be that the Raptors are sending out draft picks in order to get Jaden McDaniels. And they'd be sending them to the Bucks, and basically the Bucks would be sending the Timberwolves Giannis. But
Kevin Pelton, that's it. Yeah.
Kevin Pelton.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah.
Throw me the link and I'll put it up. But let's talk about the trade before we do that. So the whole idea was like this made the rounds on Raptors Twitter, with most condemning it, saying like this is garbage, and the Toronto Raptors would be fools to do this. And I think that my compatriot here, Steve, is of that. So why don't you lay the case for why Jaden McDaniels is not a good pickup for the Raptors with 2 picks going out?
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
RJ.
yeah, with 2, like the RJ of it all, I'm not going to really consider that much into the part of this, but the 2 picks going out, I think that you're spending those 2 picks in the wrong place, for one, because he's a great defender. You have a great defender. It wouldn't detract from him being a great defender. He would add to your defense. That's awesome. But you still have your big center problem. You still have guard talent problems that you need to address, right? My big fear here with Jaden McDaniels is that the shooting goes away, because I'm not sure that this isn't fake. He's had 48 games of shooting 44%, and he's had 366 games of shooting 34%, which is, of course, averaging across his years. He's had a year of 39% or a year of 37%. Like, he's had a couple good years in his 6 years. What if he stops being able to shoot in Toronto and he is just a $25 million defensive guy who adds to our already bad 3-point shooting? Then it's an issue, especially if you spend a couple picks on it. That's my opinion on that.
Okay. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. The 3-point shooting, for sure. I think that you got to, have a jaundiced eye when it comes to 3-point shooting, because when players come to the Raptors, they tend to forget how to shoot. With that said, I think just in general, the Toronto Raptors should be trying to find young players who are in the same age range as the core of the team and add them to the squad using, their future assets. I think that is how a lot of successful teams have been built over the years. The Knicks are a good example of that, where they've just found pieces that line up with the age ranges of their core players that fill a need, that do something that the team wants. I think Jaden McDaniels is a good player. He's like one of those sort of super role players. And this season, he's shooting 45% from 3, I believe, or is it 43?
I thought it was like 44 and a half, like 45.
Okay,
like,
so
it's
something pretty insane, but
yeah.
Let me just see here. 44.5. So almost 45% from 3. And he is one of the best defenders, perimeter defenders in the league. He is fast, long, athletic. He can even physical. He can score too. It's not just all about the shooting. The guy is scoring 15 points per game. He is a talented defensive playmaker. He is disruptive. He is a good on-ball defender. He, as I said, he's really fast and he's really long. And he's a guy that you could feel comfortable putting on the top perimeter threat on the other team. The Raptors do not have a guy like that. I mean, they have Scotty Barnes, who in stretches and in certain matchups has been very good defending the perimeter. I'm thinking Jalen Brunson. That performance was opened my eyes and said, okay, this guy can do that too. Do you want Scotty Barnes on the perimeter running around guarding a smaller player because he's the only guy on the team who can do it?
If
Or do
if
you
you
want
if you do that, you're settling for 12 points a game from Scotty
yeah,
because his offense stops when he has to take that responsibility.
exactly. And you want him close to the basket.
Yep.
He is an amazing help defender. That is what his skill is. He loves playing the passing lanes. He loves being in the paint. He loves blocking shots. You want to get a guy who you can put on another team's number one dude. And that is Jaden McDaniels. Okay. Then you add on the contract. So Jaden McDaniels, if I'm not mistaken, is on the second year of a 5-year contract, which goes up. He's around 25 million this season, and then it goes slowly up. It ends at 29 million 3 years from now. That sounds like a lot. That is 16% of the salary cap, pretty much consistently. 16% of the salary cap. That's how you have to think about it. That is right at the correct price for a player who is the fourth best player on a team, or a player who is like has the potential to become one of your top players. It's what RJ is making right now, and I would not say that he's on a bad contract.
Yeah.
And Jaden McDaniels, I think, is a level up from RJ. So we have to talk about the RJ-ness of this trade, because RJ has played up to above what people thought he would do. And he has been an important part of the Toronto Raptors since he's been here. So I do think he's a positive asset. And so it would be a positive asset plus 2 first-round picks to go get this guy. And the reason that I think that you would want to consider this is simply because of the contract situation. They have a lot of contracts coming up. They have to pay Brandon Ingram. Okay. Yeah. Scotty has the super max, or the whatever, the special max that he can get from the Raptors. They have Emmanuel Quickly on the books. They've got to find guys who are under contract so that they don't have to spend more to retain guys like RJ Barrett. That will be, if he continues to produce at the level that he's at right now, I think that is something that you will want to have on your team. I think that there is a very good case that he would fit what the Toronto Raptors are doing. Mm-hmm. So that's my case for acquiring him. And I don't think that 2 first-round picks is like out of the question for that kind of player. I think
I think the value is correct for him, especially when you consider contract and age and production. Like, I think 2 first-round picks is valid, but is that the value that we should be spending for him? I'm just so not sure of it. And yeah, like, of course, like the former McDaniels brother sours me on the name.
People were talking about that. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's a different person. It's just
literally a different person.
We have Olivier Sarr. That doesn't mean that Alex Sarr is going to be a G League player. It's just it's fun.
So
it's funny. It's funny to think about. But
so funny.
It's now, like, hear me out on this. Like, I don't know how this works in the grand scheme of it, because obviously it's wrapped into a Giannis trade, right? So, like, removing a pick doesn't necessarily not make the trade fall apart. But if you're the Raptors and you give up 1 pick and you get Naz Reid back, 26 years old, very similar contract, very similar length of contract, shooting 39% from 3. He's a big and a stretch big.
I have been talking about acquiring Naz Reid for like years and years and years now, but I think he does some things really well. I think he does other things not so well. I'd have to really look at his contract, but I'd be down, just like in theory. I really have to look at the contract though.
It's very similar. It goes 21 to up to 28 as a player option in 2029, 2030. So he makes 28 million, which is 14.8% of the cap in 28 or 29 or something, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it's a similar thing, but a player like him, you no longer need, like, you're not going to keep Mamu around if that's the case, which you might already be losing if you can't pay him and stuff. It's a decision to proceed forward with that as your guy. But again, how does that make the Giannis trade fall apart? I don't know, because already, if you look at that trade, I don't think that's the best deal that the Bucks can get for Giannis. I mean, they're getting RJ, Julius Randle, like who are players who are going to let you not be terrible, right? Because Julius Randle's been pretty good this year. So
Yeah, that aspect, you're absolutely correct, does not make a lot of sense. Like, it would make more sense if they could have like a 4-team trade,
yeah, to
or
send the
even a
good,
5. Yeah, to
and
send the
maybe they
good
can
players.
flip that like after and stuff, and then they just ride with like, okay, we got Beringer in there, we got Rob Dillingham. Like, do those guys really have value? Like, I like Beringer, Rob
Yeah,
Dillingham.
Dillingham is, I don't think,
Like, that's
gonna.
not really
No.
value, right? So when you look at it as 2 Toronto firsts, which is a 26 and a 29, whatever, and that's like those could get changed around, but the 26 is going to be like the 19th or 20th pick in a good draft. There will be some good players there. They could end up with like Bennett Sturts or something like that.
I just remembered. I'm sorry to cut you off. That
Go
this
ahead.
would reunite RJ
And Julius Randle with their own team. We've got Milwaukee now.
oh,
Yeah.
they nothing better happened to both of those guys' careers than just getting away from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name goes to Milwaukee, not Milwaukee, excuse me, too many M names. Milwaukee, Minnesota. There we go.
Yeah.
He goes to Minnesota, Julius Randle. He's having like the best, like his rep has like gone through the roof. He had that great playoff series where he like dicked down the Lakers, and like all of this stuff is going right for him. RJ comes to the Raptors, and he's like, he's having a resurgent career as well. So putting those guys back together is not a good idea. They don't complement each other whatsoever. But that's an interesting trade for sure. Oh yeah. We're kind of running out of time here, but let's talk about Vit Krejci, unless you had any more thoughts on Jaden McDaniels. I think that's something that you guys should talk about in the comments, talking to you, the watchers of this video, either live or on Spotify/YouTube. Leave a comment whether you like my optimism about Jaden McDaniels, not Jalen McDaniels.
I think it's a point. I think you've made a good point, though. Like, I think points well made, I'll say, because like I exactly see where you're coming from. Whereas when I first saw this, I was like, why are we sending picks to help somebody else get Giannis?
Like, absolutely.
What the hell? When we could just maybe fork up a couple more and then we could have Giannis.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I agree that he's a good player and he would fit. Like, I think, point well made.
It might just be like, it might make sense for everybody involved in terms of the assets going in and out, but you're absolutely right that, like, why not just go get Giannis, right?
Yeah.
So there is that aspect that we didn't even discuss. Like, it may make sense for all parties involved, but another trade might make even more sense.
Yeah.
Right. Which is right. Anyway. Why don't we talk about Vit Krejci? Because he was traded from Atlanta to the Portland Trailblazers for Duop Reith and 2 second-round picks. I didn't even know Vit Krejci was available.
No, maybe we didn't. Like, maybe Bobby didn't know. That's the thing. Like, some of these trades, like, it's not like they call around everybody and say, give me your best offer. So maybe it's something you don't even know, but it does show, like, maybe a lack of attentiveness on what the Raptors are looking for if they're not calling about a guy like that and seeing, because 2 second-round picks is
it's a pittance.
Yeah. And they're waiving Duop Reith. That could have been an Ochai Agbaji. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, no, I think that they could have used a guy like Vit Krejci is pretty good.
Yeah.
And like he can handle the ball a little bit. He's got quick feet.
Yeah.
Like, he's 6'8", but he's like kind of a guard.
Yeah.
He can fit into different lineups. He can really shoot the ball, and he shoots a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the Raptors need. That's what they needed. So, like, I wanted that. I think the Raptors could have and probably should have. Like, if you're asking me, I would have gone. And if you look at his contract, this guy is on we were talking about Jaden McDaniels on a 16% of the salary cap. This guy's on like a 2% of the salary cap for the next 3 years with a club option. Why do
you think they traded him?
I don't know.
And they're waiving Duop Reith. Are they trying to clear some salary? Are they really going to trade for AD? Maybe
there could be that could be it.
Right?
Is Duop Reith's contract not guaranteed?
I don't know. Yeah,
that might be the sticking point there.
Right. And the other thought is like maybe they didn't want to move him in conference. Maybe they wanted to trade him out west
Yes.
so he doesn't
Yeah.
hurt them. That matters, right? But yeah, what's it? Michael Scotto, pretty tapped in.
Contract. Yeah, that's what it is. Contract non-guaranteed, fully guarantees on what is this? Oh, this is the American date system. I friggin' hate this.
Yeah, see, we don't have anybody like that, right? Who is a non-guarantee.
Yeah, it's
that would
month.
happen
It's
with.
month day year for them, right?
I think so.
Oh, okay. So it has been fully guaranteed.
Okay.
So no, I was totally wrong. Sorry.
Okay,
The
no, it's fine.
American date system with month, day, year just completely blew my mind apart. But in any case, yeah, I think the Raptors could have beat you, but beaten that. But I definitely think you're probably correct about trading him in conference.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to have a guy that could potentially burn you multiple times a season, you're going to look like a dumbass if you trade him in the conference.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. But
well,
yeah.
And like Michael Scotto, the For Hoops Hype newsbreaker kind of guy.
Yeah.
Pretty tapped in. Like they were doing him and Keith Smith, whatever, that Celtics reporter.
I like him actually. I like Keith Smith.
Yeah, so they were doing like that front office pod, whatever, and people were asking questions. So I asked, have you heard anything about the Raptors looking for shooters? And Michael Scotto was like, no, just play Grady Dick. And then everyone in the comments were like, Grady's shooting like 30%. What are you talking about? So he's obviously not that tapped into like what's going on with the actual team. But as far as he has heard, the Raptors aren't looking around for Avit Krejci, at least what he has heard, right? So I would hope that like if there is, I would expect a small deal, right? Like I'm hearing names, like if you want to run through some names that we've heard, Yves Missi, Day'Ron Sharp, Daniel Gafford, Goga Batazde.
Yeah.
These are all small deals where you wouldn't like have multiple players coming back from them. But if there is a bigger deal, I would hope that they would be able to drag a shooter along with that to help with that, because they desperately need shooting.
Avit Krejci type of player.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a rubber meets the road season. This is not let's let the young guys play through their mistakes and do all that kind of stuff.
I don't want to hear the let them figure it out. Let's see how it's like, come on.
If this is a sink or swim season, I want to see who is going to complement Scotty Barnes, and I want to see who's going to complement Brandon Ingram, and I want them to make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. I want them to have a successful second half of the season. I think that they should be focusing on winning right now, not sacrificing the future, but not making it so that there's a free pass being given out to players to just do whatever, like to not live up to a rotation caliber player on a playoff team. I don't think that's too much of an ask to be a rotation caliber player. But unfortunately, a lot of them are playing below that.
Yeah, and it's like you can only give young guys so long. They've picked up club options and stuff on Grady, and there's been no talks of extension because he hasn't earned one. He hasn't been able to do the thing that they need. So I guess that's like my other speculations. It's like, who do we expect to go out the door at this deadline, right? Obviously Ochai is probably the first name, but is this, Grady's last few days? Are they going to try to move RJ before? I mean, apparently they're trying, right? But
they could even one of the things is that you want to keep certain guys on the team, right? But scouts know who the good players are on teams.
Yeah.
They will say, go get Grady, get Jacoby Walter.
Yeah.
They'll say this guy, you should be asking for him on their team, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Jacoby Walter is the guy that has to go, because in return you get X, Y, or Z, this other player, right? And that's the ask. So you shouldn't get too hung up on who's leaving, because I think outside of Scotty Barnes and apparently Brandon Ingram, I think anybody on this roster could be on the move. Right. I think that anybody could be out the door this coming it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah. because like you would think that CMB would
No,
be safe.
Thursday, excuse me.
Right, Thursday. You would think that CMB would be safe, but he is the thing to dangle for a really good player. He's the guy that if you're like trying to actually get a star, not Sabonis level star, better than that.
Yes, yeah, like a
CMB,
real legit top
yeah, he's
30
where
player.
your Giannis package starts with him and
Yeah.
picks, right? As much
Yeah.
as they would say, Scotty, no, that's not.
That's
be
not on the table.
Yeah.
I don't even think that Horst would ask for Scotty. I think
Yeah,
that it's
I
pretty
think you know at
obvious.
this point.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
be like, that's not going to be
Yeah.
what they're willing to do.
Yeah.
They just fart onto the phone.
Yeah.
That's what people on Twitter say is that
Exactly.
just pick up the phone and fart
And
into
hang
it.
up. Exactly. But like, I mean, yeah, exactly. Because you've already said no for KD for literally everybody that they've ever asked about. Why would you do it for an injured Giannis? Now that's not going to happen. So CMB is the guy.
Right, but you're reminding me of some like previous beefs and just like get things that get stuck in your craw where people
Yeah.
are like constantly being like taking a crap on Scotty because he was dangled for
He could have been KD. He could have been. Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not that crazy now, is it?
Yeah. And
It's
where
not
would we?
that crazy?
Dude, I was arguing with people who were trying to move him for Damian Lillard, and where's Damian Lillard now? Right? Get out of here with that.
Get out of here.
It's like you would have got one good season with him and Siakam. Okay,
Yeah,
but that was when the Celtics were really freaking good, and like it's like
yeah, exactly.
So
and is that worth giving up the next 10, 12 years?
Yeah.
Like, yes, he has lived up. Like a lot of the time, prospects are a gamble. Like you don't know how they're going to turn out a lot of the time. Some of the time they show like a ton of promise and then just never get there. It could have been like that with Scotty, I guess. And we are lucky as fans that he panned out to where he is right now. And I'm not even saying that like he is one season away. Like if he's just odd year man and that's his literal, like imagine that next season, he goes back to sucking. We're right back in the same conversation. I don't think that's going to happen, but like, I understand that people got pissed off trying to trade Scotty, and thankfully I was never on that. And all the people who said trade Scotty for Damian Lillard, trade Scotty for Kevin Durant. Yeah, not looking too hot of a take these days. Why don't we talk about the upcoming schedule? Because we got to get out of here soon.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Upcoming schedule. Let me pull that up. But the Toronto Raptors are on a home stretch. They get to play the next 4 games at home. Thankfully, they won the first of their home games, if you want to call it that. I accidentally called it a loss. So that's showing you where my mind is at.
They haven't been very good at home, right? So you almost expect more of a loss when it comes to home. Yeah.
So the whole thing about the Toronto Raptors not winning at home, like it feels like I think it's like the East that is their problem. I don't even know if it's necessarily home or away, but they have been kind of taking care of business against the West, especially on that West Coast road trip. So I've got the games coming up. Let me just paste it into my tab here.
Yeah, they're 0-6 against the Celtics and the Knicks, so that alone really kills you. I think probably half of those are home games, right? So that probably kills you, which is obviously concerning for your future. But I don't think anybody had the expectation that you jump from a lottery team to beating the best of the East handedly every time you play them.
Yeah, I mean, like the some of the losses, like some people think they can predict the future, and they think that a team is bad now, that means they're going to be bad forever, or they're going to do this or they're going to do that. It makes more sense when you look at it from a macro perspective. Like they are a team on the rise, but they're not there yet.
Yeah.
They are a team that is moving up. They are at the top end of kind of mediocre, but that means that you're going to lose to teams that are on a rung below you. You are going to occasionally lose games to teams that you are above in the standings. The truly amazing teams take care of business against crappy opponents, but the
Yeah.
Raptors are not there yet. Okay, so let's look here. The Timberwolves are next, so all of this Jaden McDaniel stuff. Watch him have like the worst game of all time to make my take look really stupid tomorrow.
Where he hits 10 threes and then you're vindicated.
I know. There you go. Maybe I should. This sounds so appealing. Maybe I should put a wager on it.
Is it the giant gambling banner across the bottom that's making you think?
Yeah,
that?
it's slowly seeping into my subconscious. I'm starting to think about gambling. No, I'm not at all. Then they play the Chicago Bulls. So the Chicago Bulls, like the Timberwolves, I expect I kind of skipped over them, but like Rudy Gobert, they don't really have an answer for Rudy Gobert.
No.
Rudy Gobert is going to stand in the paint, and then Scotty Barnes is going to have a lot of trouble scoring there when it's not on the fast break. RJ Barrett is going to have a hard time scoring in there, except on the fast break. And they're going to be reliant on their shooting, which means, is RJ going to have a good shooting night?
Yeah.
Is Emmanuel quickly going to have a good shooting night? Is Mamu going to have a good shooting night? Is Brandon Ingram going to have a good shooting night? And I think that they all have to have a decent shooting night in order for the Raptors to win this.
Yeah.
I think like they've got a really potent mix of, offense and defense, and defenders in a spot where I think it's going to give the Raptors a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I think Julius Randle's going to drop 30 on us, and it's going to be, it's going to be pretty much over by the fourth. But, maybe not.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And the Raptors have like played them pretty well over the past couple of years. They've gotten some wins against them even when they were bad. So who knows? It might just be like a matchup thing. I hope they win that. I don't know if they will. The game after is going to be a little easier. The Chicago Bulls, they started out with the most like phony win streak ever.
Yeah.
Like no one believed
I know.
when they were undefeated at the beginning of the season. So yeah, they are back in the gutter kind of. I think they're still on the 39 win trajectory.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Nobody wants Vucevic. They're stuck with him. But the other thing about that game, that's on Thursday. That's on the trade deadline. Kobe White won't be playing, I don't think, because they're trying to move him. I think he'll be probably sat for that game. So you're looking at probably a reduced scoring of the Bulls. I think that should be a pretty not easy win, but I think it'll be a Raptors. Yeah.
I think they're advantaged just usually, like even against a team that doesn't have Kobe White. But if that's the case, I think that they probably win that. Yeah. Then they get play against the Pacers. The Pacers are not a good team this season. The Raptors have kind of had their way with them. And they, there was that awesome game where they hit the buzzer beater, Brandon Ingram. And that was when Pirtle wasn't, strapped to a hospital bed. So he had a game-winning rejection.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then for the final game, this one's for this will solve the mystery of what the Toronto Raptors look like playing the Detroit Pistons, which for some reason took, 60% of the season to see, even though they're in the same conference.
Yeah. You play all your games against the Cavs, all your games against the Hawks, and then you're just waiting on the Pistons.
That'll be an interesting game to watch, no doubt about it. The Pistons are like a really legit good team, so that'll be tough. But I want to see how they match up. I have no idea.
To me, it all depends if after February 5th, if you have a center, if you have a backup center, whatever, that'll change the game drastically against Duren. If you don't have it, Duren is going to punk you, and he's going to get 3 or 4 alley-oops from Cade, and it's going to be tough. But if you get somebody who can have some size, and obviously Duren's a monster anyway, but I think that changes the game a bit for you. That'll be a really interesting one. That'll another barometer of where you're at.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And styles make fights.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is that sometimes a team matches up really good against another really good team. For example, like the Spurs and the Thunder, it's it's a bad matchup for them.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to write the Raptors off until I see what they look like against the Pistons.
Yeah.
But they are a very good team. They are like legitimately a good team. And I think that they should be trying to make a trade this trade deadline. They need something similar to what the Raptors need, which is shooting on the wing, but they need like a bigger wing. They need like kind of like a forward to play with Cade and Duran.
Some secondary ball handling would be nice. When Schroeder was pretty good for them in the playoffs as a secondary ball handler there, and they Jaden Ivey is not. I don't know if he's even active right now.
Yeah, Monty was right somehow. he didn't play him at all, and I was like, "What is this guy doing?" But
they kind of missed their boat on when he was actually putting up good numbers and shooting of flipping him for good value, because I think it'd be kind of in tough now. But I agree. I think them going for a trade would be good. Like, I mean, maybe they'll go for somebody like Zach LaVine on the cheap or something. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that might be interesting. I just don't know if I would want to taint my team with a potential guy that is going to bring the stench with him. Let's just put it that way. Like, Zach LaVine has never been on a good team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he is a winning player. So is that something that you want to bring to your team?
That's true. He's purely an eye test guy. Oh, look how so smooth, and just like
he can score, and he's a good scorer. But that's kind of where the conversation ends with him. It's like he does this one thing very well. I guess, like, as I said, scoring is a multi-tier thing. Like, he's like a 3-level scorer, and that is impressive. That is the start of a really good player, but he just kind of lacks the other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if I do that for him. But anywho, I think that might be the episode. We ran a little bit over time, but it is a busy time of year.
Yeah.
We will be talking about the trade deadline here probably next week and online too. So you guys should follow us on our Twitter accounts if you haven't already. Steve is at Raptors Shack on Twitter. He's also that on YouTube. So follow him there if you haven't already. I'm Raps Report on Twitter. And if you're watching this, you probably have me on YouTube. But if you're on Spotify, follow me on YouTube too. And thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a very rewarding experience, the podcast so far this year, and we're happy to do it with you. So take care, Raptors fans.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.